Welcome to Breaking International News. What Trump said in a short speech on the attack on Iran. Will Iran strike 40,000 U.S. targets in the Middle East? IAEA calls emergency meeting after U.S. attack on Iran. Houthi ready to attack Red Sea. U.S. attack on Iran. What is anyone saying? What Trump said in a short speech on the attack on Iran. U.S. President Donald Trump gave a short speech on television after the attack on Iran's nuclear facilities. In the speech broadcast on Saturday, June 22 night, Trump said that the U.S. military had attacked and completely destroyed 3 of Iran's main nuclear facilities. There is no longer any danger. It is time for peace. Trump said, Iran's main uranium enrichment facilities have been completely destroyed. This attack was an amazing military success. It is a testament to the extraordinary military capabilities of the United States. In the 3-minute speech, Trump warned that Iran now has 2 paths, peace or destruction. He said that there are many more military and strategic facilities on the U.S. target list, which will be destroyed quickly, precisely, and efficiently if Iran does not quickly come to the path of peace. The attack came at a time when military tensions between Israel and Iran have reached a peak. It is feared that the U.S., standing on Israel's side and directly involved in this conflict, has created new instability in the Middle East. Trump announced a few days ago that he would make a final decision on Iran within 2 weeks. However, he took this military action before that, which many believe indicates an escalation of war. U.S. broadcaster CBS News reported that the U.S. has contacted Tehran diplomatically after the attack and said that these attacks are over for now and that the U.S. is not planning any regime change in Iran. Analysts say that if this situation is not brought under control quickly, there is a risk of conflict spreading throughout the Middle East. At the same time, the long-standing conflict between Iran and the West over its nuclear program may take a more complicated form. Will Iran strike 40,000 U.S. targets in the Middle East? The U.S. has now become directly involved in the ongoing Israel-Iran conflict. The U.S. attacked 3 nuclear facilities in Tehran on Saturday local time. After this attack, Iran has also warned Americans in the Middle East. Mehran Kamrava, a professor of government at Georgetown University in Qatar, has given an idea of what Iran's response will really be. The professor said, "This region is full of American bases. There are more than 40,000 American troops here. I once heard an Iranian commander say, that means we can hit 40,000 targets. So will the Iranians attack U.S. bases in the Middle East? And if so, will they do so in a moderate way, as they did in 2020 in retaliation for the killing of Iranian General Qasem Soleimani?" He raised the question. "I think there's still a lot to be seen," Kamrava added. "But the Iranians will have to retaliate. Politically, they can't just sit back and let this play out the way Trump wants it to." IAEA calls emergency meeting after U.S. attack on Iran. The International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA, has called an emergency meeting on Monday following the U.S. attack on Iran. The head of the UN nuclear watchdog said the meeting was called in light of the emergency situation in Iran. Meanwhile, the head of Iran's Atomic Energy Organization, Mohammad Islam, wrote a letter to the IAEA, saying that Tehran wants an investigation into the U.S. attack. At the same time, the letter also demanded that the IAEA condemn the U.S. attack, according to Iranian media reports. Earlier, the IAEA confirmed that the U.S. attacked 3 Iranian nuclear facilities, but there was no information about an increase in radiation levels in the surrounding areas. Meanwhile, Iran launched a massive drone and missile attack on various locations in Israel on Sunday morning in response to the U.S. attack on Saturday night. Israel said that at least 86 people were injured in Iran's latest attack and that they are undergoing treatment. According to the Israel Hayom Daily, Iran fired at least 40 missiles, which hit Haifa, Tel Aviv, and various locations in the coast and central Israel. Israel's state broadcaster KAN said the Iranian missiles hit at least 10 different locations. Channel 14 confirmed that 5 Iranian missiles had hit Israeli territory, 3 of which landed in the Haifa area and 2 in central Israel. Channel 12 said that an unusual incident had occurred in Haifa and that multiple explosions had occurred there. KAN reported that a building near Tel Aviv was hit directly by a missile and that several buildings in the coastal area were destroyed. Meanwhile, the Israeli Health Ministry said that 86 people injured in the Iranian missile attack were hospitalized. Of these, 2 were in moderate condition, 77 were in good condition, and 4 were suffering from severe anxiety. In addition, 3 people are undergoing medical evaluation. Source: BBC and Times of Israel. Houthi ready to attack Red Sea. Yemen's Houthi rebels are ready to attack ships sailing in the Red Sea after the U.S. attack on Iran's nuclear facilities. The rebel group said this in a statement. The Times of Israel reported. In the statement, the Houthis said that the armed wing had promised to hit U.S. ships in the Red Sea if Washington attacked Iran. They support this promise. It also said that we confirm the commitment of the Republic of Yemen to the announcement of the armed forces that it is ready to attack U.S. ships and warships in the Red Sea. Earlier, the Houthi expressed deep concern and strong reaction to the U.S. military attack on Iran's nuclear facilities. They claimed that this attack is the beginning of the consequences of the war and is not an isolated military action. Read more, U.S. attack on Iran, beginning of war. After the U.S. attack on Iran's nuclear facilities, Houthi Political Bureau member Mohammed Al-Farah said, Donald Trump wants the war to start quickly and end quickly. This attitude is clearly evident. He added, bombing one or two nuclear facilities is not the end, but rather the beginning of the war. Now is not the time to run away. The Houthi response came hours after the group warned that if Trump joins Israel in attacking Iran, U.S. ships in the Red Sea would become targets for the Houthi group. U.S. attack on Iran. What is anyone saying? The U.S. bomber attack on 3 nuclear facilities in Iran has sparked strong reactions among U.S. politicians. Many have called it a violation of the Constitution, while some have praised President Trump's decision. Let's find out who is saying what. Bernie Sanders' reaction. U.S. Senator Bernie Sanders has called the attack a gross violation of the U.S. Constitution. He said, "The news I just received is not only alarming, it is grossly unconstitutional. Everyone knows that only the U.S. Congress has the right to declare war, not the President." Democrats' position. Top leaders of the Democratic Party have not yet made any direct comments. The leader of the Democratic caucus in the House of Representatives, Hakeem Jeffries, and the leader of the Senate, Chuck Schumer, have both remained silent. Both are known as strong supporters of Israel and have a strong anti-Iranian stance. However, in an earlier statement, Hakeem Jeffries said, Iran must never be allowed to acquire a nuclear capability. Israel also has the right to defend itself. At the same time, he acknowledged that only Congress has the constitutional right to declare war. A poll shows that 65% of Democratic supporters oppose the United States engaging in war against Iran. Republican reaction. Many Republican leaders have taken a stand in Trump's favor. Senate Majority Leader John Thune said, Iran's leaders have rejected the peaceful diplomatic path. Trump has taken the right step. House Speaker Mike Johnson said, this attack is a real reflection of President Trump's America First policy. It sends a clear message to our enemies and allies. Trump does what he says. Senators Lindsey Graham and Roger Wicker praised President Trump's decision, saying it was a conscious and timely step to address the threat that Iran now poses. However, not all Republicans agree. Kentucky Senator Thomas Massie said, this attack is unconstitutional. California Democratic Representative Sarah Jacobs said, this action is further increasing tensions in the Middle East and we could be embroiled in another endless war. Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib's comments. Palestinian-born Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib strongly criticized the attack, saying, President Trump's ordering an attack on Iran without the approval of lawmakers is a clear violation of the U.S. Constitution.